Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're joining us today. Welcome to the Global Women Peace Network speaker series. My name is Angelica Selly. I'm the president of Women's Federation for World Peace USA. I'm the host today, and I'll share with you about this program. On behalf of the Global Women Peace Network, I welcome you. And we continue with the series we started a year ago, Women's Leadership in Reconciliation and Peacemaking. And today's topic is health and healing. Would you not agree that our entire planet is under stress? Stressed out, upside down. As we speak, we have temperatures in Arizona, 115. I don't know who is in Arizona watching right now. Here in Maryland, we have sometimes 100, next day it's 50. It is like a roller coaster. We are finding ourselves in uncertain times, and it is in a way indicative of our lives as well. Wouldn't you agree? The COVID-19 has really changed life forever, and it has also impacted heavily on our lives, in our families, in our own constitution, and certainly our health and in our relationships. So we're dealing with all kinds of personal stress. We're dealing with all kinds of family stress in the schools and in the workplace. So our emotions are sometimes also on a roller coaster. So therefore, this speaker series is designed to help us overcome those challenges and to navigate smoothly through these difficult times. And so, especially as women, we tend to take on more than we sometimes should, and we run ourselves into the ground, right? I can certainly speak about that. I know there are many of you out there who have been giving and giving and giving until we collapse. And that is our reality. We carry more than we sometimes could or should handle. And so in many cases, we also have leadership positions and careers, and that adds to the stress. This is all to say, we need some help, right? We need some healing. We need health advice. And also, as we raise up peace leaders in the Women's Federation, we surely need help to heal, because a peace leader is the one who should bring healing to others. And we know that hurt people, and healed people heal people. So I'm very excited today that we have this topic and that we have incredibly qualified speakers giving us advice. They will share with us about their journey through difficulties and how they overcame with food, even writing, leadership, mindset, energy healing, many different tools that they're going to share with us today. But before I introduce them, I'd like to share briefly about the Global Women Peace Network. The Global Women Peace Network is a project of GWPN International and was inaugurated in 2012 as an NGO with general consultative status with the Economic Social Council at the UN. I'm sorry, that is the Women's Federation that has the NGO status, but the Global Women Peace Network is a project of Women's Federation. It was founded in 2012. Women's Federation itself was founded in 1992, some 30 years ago, by Dr. Hak Ja Han Moon and her late husband, Dr. Sun Myung Moon, with the purpose to announce the arrival of the era of women, indicating that in order to have world peace, women need to play a more pivotal role. Don't you agree? So the mission statement is that the Global Women Peace Network is bringing together NGOs, decision makers, leaders, organizations, and governments to solve pressing social issues and to secure an environment for equitable human development. Through peace leadership based on feminine aspect of human nature, the Global Women Peace Network seeks to ensure lasting peace and prosperity for generations to come. Its founding vision is to work toward one global family under God in a world of lasting peace. We are non-political, we are non-religious, but yes, we are spiritual. We affirm our loving Creator, and we are social, and we practice the principle of living for the sake of others. That is one of the uniquenesses of Women's Federation. It is the philosophy of living by the logic of love, living for the sake of others. It is the founders who, with their vision, have practiced the vision and shown us an example. And it is also the vision itself that is all-encompassing and universal. So today's topic of health, I have to say, is one of the prerequisites actually to be a peace leader, as said before, because peace leaders need to be very strong to overcome challenges as we deal with toxic emotions. There is a lot of pain out there also, and if we want to resolve that, we cannot do that without healing ourselves first. So for all these reasons, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to our speaker series. And the first speaker I'm going to introduce now is Mrs. Terry Liggins. Mrs. Terry Liggins is the founder of the Law of Raw Institute of Balanced Healthy Living and the founder of Literary Front, a writing and publishing company. In 2012, after years of searching for relief from sarcoidosis, Terry was introduced to a raw food lifestyle, which relieved her of all sarcoidosis symptoms. As a health advocate, Terry guides many individuals to a healthier lifestyle. She's the author of Get Your Raw on, R-A-W on, and is working on an upcoming book called Thriving Before Dying. Ms. Liggins will be sharing on the topic, healthy, and that can be seen like heal thy, healthy people. When later becomes now is not the time to ask how. So Terry, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'd like to just start back in the fall of 1999. I was taking an antacid for yet another night, being prepared for another sleepless night. And that's exactly what happened. The next day, I was still feeling very not myself and just, full of indigestion, but I had to go to work. I had a new assistant starting, and of course, only I can be the one that can train her, right? So I went on to work, and throughout the day, she noticed that every once in a while I was, clutching my chest a little bit. And finally, Rachel asked me, "Is everything okay?" And I said, "Yeah, just, a little indigestion." And she said, "Did you get that checked out? If this has been happening for a while?" And I'm like, no, I'm fine. Well, just then she reached into her wallet and pulled out a newspaper article, opened it up, and handed it to me. And it was an obituary of her sister, who was only 33 years old when she ignored some symptoms. Well, needless to say, that got my attention. And it was late in the afternoon, and I said, okay, let me just go ahead and I'll just stop at a urgent care center and just have it looked at. And I did that. But first, I stopped at the after-school daycare to pick up my two children. My wise conscience said, "Why in the world did you do that?" Well, because I couldn't inconvenience anyone else at the last minute to do that, right? That could have been the last time that you ever picked up your children. Wow, okay. But I went about my way and I got the children home, fixed, made sure that they had their homework set. And then I was getting ready to go out the door when I thought, no, I should fix dinner first. Again, my wise conscience said, "And why are you doing that?" Well, because they may starve or something. And that just may be the last meal that you ever fix for your family. Okay, that got my attention again, and I said, "Let me go straight to the urgent care." I left a note for the husband saying where I was going and that I would be back later. Now, it's a funny thing, I thought about this when I was coming up with the story here, that back in the day, I did not even have to tell him which urgent care I was going to, because there was only one in the area. But if you look around today, how many urgent care centers do you see? Probably about as many fast food places that you see. And the fast food places are the very reason that we need those type of centers for the overflow of people with preventable diseases such as high blood pressure, diabetes, stroke and obesity. But, that's all for a different day, different speech. So back to the story. I went to the urgent care center and they did an EKG on me. And they came back and said, "You need to call your husband. We're sending you over to the hospital to be admitted." Wait a minute, why? Well, you've had a heart attack. You've had a mild heart attack, and we're sending you there now. And I was like, oh, no, hold on. There's no time for that. I'm just 40 years young, and heart attack is not on my list of things to do. My wise conscience said, but what is on your list is doing everything for everyone else when they need it, as they need it. And you're always putting yourself last. Ouch, again. But can I get a witness, ladies? I fortunately had that as a warning, but too often a heart attack is not a warning for individuals. Too often that heart attack is their first and their final call. Studies show that 3 out of 5 men never even go to get their annual checkup. And sadly, still, when there are symptoms, only 40% of men will even go to see about those conditions. So off I was to the hospital, and they gave me a heart monitor, sent me on my way. Over the next 6 months, I went through a series of tests, biopsies, and such, and they came back with a diagnosis of sarcoidosis. I know it's a hard word to pronounce. I never even heard of it back then. And I did a whole lot of research to find out that it's an autoimmune disease that can affect anywhere in your body where you have tissue. And mine happened to be in the lungs. I had swollen lymph nodes. Quick side note about the autoimmune disease or the autoimmune system, because in this age of virus pandemic, I think the immune system is the most important thing that everyone should be studying. As multicellular beings, we have dedicated cells that do nothing but go out there as the frontline fighting men, and they are our defense against all these disease-causing agents. So the immune system is made up of a lot of things, but mainly cells that are and organs that are there to do one thing, and that is to fight off infection. So if you're taking notes, I'd like you to do this right now. On your piece of paper, write down these letters. I find it very easy to remember things when I put things in alphabetical order or when I do acronyms. So I want you to write these letters in a vertical fashion. Okay, the letter A. Okay, and right underneath the letter A, you'll put the letter B. Underneath B, you'll put C. Under that, you'll write L. And under that, you'll write S. Underneath the S, you'll write a T. Under that, you'll write W. So that's ABC, LST, W. Okay, so next to the A, you'll put a dash and then write antibodies. Next to the letter B, put a dash and you'll write bone marrow. Next to the letter C, put a dash and write chemicals called microbes. And microbes is MICROBES. Okay. And then next to the letter L, you'll write lymphatic system, and that's LYMPHATIC system. Next to the letter S, you'll write spleen. And next to the letter T, you'll write thymus, and that's THYMUS. And next to the letter W, you will write white blood cells. So of course I don't have time here to go through all of those, but those are the main parts of the immune system. So it would be very fascinating for you to look that up and see how they all work together. But now what happens when you don't take care of your immune system? All right, that's when you have what's called an autoimmune disease. And auto in this case means abnormal. Simple as that, abnormal immune system. And that means it's weakened and it's compromised. And at that point, things such as colds, flus, viruses can enter your body. So there are many factors that allow your system to become compromised. The main ones are the habits that people have, the unhealthy habits, eating foods that are full of preservative, chemicals, sugar, lack of adequate sleep and rest, living a sedentary lifestyle. How often do we drive somewhere when we really could walk there? Or, maybe parking at the very, very end of the parking lot so that you give yourself a little bit of exercise. But the biggie of them all is stress. All right, so those are the things that can really affect your immune system, cause inflammation and all these diseases. But you know what? No one told me anything about that back when I was suffering through this for 12 years, suffering through sarcoidosis and not being able to even walk up the stairs. I had to be carried up and down the stairs because my muscles were so weak. I was in the ICU at one point due to breathing difficulties, but yet I continued to search for that answer, that cure that I was told wasn't out there. Well, fast forward to 2012, and I was introduced to superfoods. And that's when I got a crash course on the science behind God's food. That's the food before man gets his hands on it and messes it up. So here's an example of what I eat, because I'm not talking about just some boring salads or gnawing on carrot sticks and celery sticks all day long. And this is just a very quick picture. Nothing pictured here is cooked, baked, broiled, boiled, fried, sauteed, barbecued, walked, or processed. And while, again, we don't have time to go through all of that, that shows you, though, how colorful your food should be. The more colorful, the more healthy. And it shows you that I'm not lacking anything by giving up what I'm giving up. I don't eat meat. I don't eat dairy. I don't eat refined sugar, no chemicals, no preservatives. My food is full spectrum, whole, plant-based, unprocessed, full of proteins and live enzymes. Thank you, Kiyomi. So when I was introduced and learned all about this, I knew that I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I had never been a vegan, never been a vegetarian, but I knew that I needed to draw a line in the sand and take some radical action. So I went from day one of eating a standard American diet to day two of eating 100% raw. And when I did that, I like to call it, I went cold broccoli. And when I did that, all symptoms of that 12-year-long disease went away in just 7 days. Yes, just 7 days. That was all that it took. And so that was, I'm coming up on almost 9 years now of that journey, and I am still raw. Only 90% now because I'm in a preventative mode, don't need to be in a healing mode, but still I'm disease-free, immune to viruses. And you know what? On an earthly level, I know that Rachel came to work for me that day as an assistant. But on a divine level, I know that God sent her to give me a wake-up call and to give me an option for a second chance at life. So in 7 days, I escaped that death trap and got on to living. I never take that second chance for granted. And I will rely on my conscious self to make sure that those 3 million cells that are recreated in me every single second are healthy cells. Thank you and God bless.
Beautiful. Round of applause, ladies. What a stirring story. And thank you for giving us those letters. A, B, C, L, S, T, W. Let us remember that. Thank you very much. We'll have questions for you a little later. I'd like to now introduce our second speaker, Mrs. Miyuki Pullman. She's the founder of Energy in Harmony and is a certified practitioner of Eden Energy Medicine, also Body Talk and Flower Essence. She learned that physical, mental, and emotional issues start with an imbalance of body energy. Balancing the energy brings balance to all levels with body health issues. She teaches energy care as self-care to calm stress and anxiety and helps others feel safe and peaceful. Mrs. Pullman will be sharing with us as a presentation and exercise, calming stress and anxiety. Sounds hopeful. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
Hey, hello, my name is Miyuki Pullman. I live in Vancouver, Washington. And actually right now, 1:15, this is one of the place that is one of the hottest place right now. And yeah, so as I was introduced, I'm a certified practitioner, eating energy medicine, body talk, and flower essence. And I give sessions and also teach energy balancing techniques. And so my background is education and psychology, but I began to be interested in energy healing And I have been studying and practicing almost 20 years. And I learned it's really balancing energy is the key to all the health, like mental, emotional, and physical. So I'd like to share today some of the techniques. It's very simple, actually, like a touch and tap and some stretch. So energy moves, so it needs space. So if we touch, tap, and stretch, energy starts moving with the flow. And it's also like having a very good, all the communicating each other, and the whole body would be balanced. But today I'm going to talk about calming stress and anxiety. So there are a lot of factors to for stress, but I like to use one incident as example. So if you're walking on the street and happily, joyfully, and suddenly a big, vicious-looking dog appears and start chasing you, and then you would run away or really fight or scream or call for help. So you are facing the stress, and the stress hormone like adrenaline help to react, fight or flight. But that one is actually a healthy and protective response to the stress. And then after the dog goes, and you will go back to the normal, relaxed state. So that kind of stress is kind of easy and can go away fairly quickly. And another example is related to internal and emotional issue. So that is a longer term stress, and it's a little bit more difficult to manage. So if we are worried about something for a long time, the body is experiencing consistent stress, just like the dog was here always. So the body would produce all the stress hormone for extended period of time. So the body cannot relax. So the stress become chronic and also may cause anxiety and disease. So that's what we want to avoid. And instead of, instead we want to do some energy balancing technique. So by touching, by just touching and tapping or stretching, that so energy start moving and flowing better, so that the whole body, and then the whole body would be balanced because the blood and fluid follow the energy. And so the whole body is balanced, and the nutrient through the, in the blood goes to the place, and then healing can take place. So now I like to actually spend more time to show how to balance. Okay, so maybe you can experience some relaxation. Okay, so the first one is I want to show to touch. They're very, very simple actually, but we do this deliberately and purposely for the to relax. So I hope you can join me. And first, you can just rub your hand and shake off some energy, extra energy. And I'm just gonna do just one touch. So one hand, either one, right or left, put on the one hand on the navel. Just put the navel, and one hand is on the chest. You can close your eyes if you want to. And take maybe a couple, 2 or 3 deep breaths. I would exaggerate. So if you're doing by yourself, you can stay longer with this one. And next one is similar, but we're gonna use the middle fingers. And one finger, find your navel, actually on the navel. I mean, yeah, belly button. And one hand is the third eye between eyebrow. And you press a little bit gently. And lift up a little bit like that. Yeah, and then stay again 15 minutes, or you could even stay 1 minute or 2 minutes. But right now, just stay with a couple of breaths, okay? You can close your eyes again. It's more relaxing. Breathe in. This one called a hook up and help centering. And actually, this one connecting the midline center, the front meridian energy, and then the back. So connect that. Then we call this microcosmic orbit, kind of big name. But so circling around our body, and it's really hook and then centering. And also we say even this is good for the seizure. Or even panic if you do that. It's really calming and centering. And then I'd like to show some tapping. Okay, I'm gonna do 4 places. Okay, start from this cheekbone here. We just can tap. Okay, breathing is very important actually. And just tap here. Gently, or you can do strongly if you want to. This is stomach point. Okay, and then you see the collarbone here, but under the collarbone. So, you know, here's the center and maybe about 1 inch. But you can find the kind of soft place. And then you tap here. Take a deep breath. This is the kidney point. So here and here together, it helps grounding. Energy coming up and on the ground, and again connecting, it helps ground. And the chest, sternum, and tap here. It's the underneath the thymus gland. It helps the immune system. And if you're weak, you just go like that, you know, like a Tarzan or a gorilla, you know, and I think you feel strong. The immune system can be strong too. Okay, and one more place, and I want to tap the side of the body. This is a spleen point. And can point out here too. And this one help digestion and then metabolism. Okay, I think I have better hurry actually. And then I do, okay, let's see. I will do a stretching, just go stretch a little bit. And that's, it's a lung, it help you to breathe. Okay. Yeah, and I'll do one more. Then just to take care of our brain. Forehead and back. This one also really calm. If you have too much thinking, and you know, that's called fear and worry, that's coming. Okay. I want to do one more time, but I won't because maybe I don't have so much time. But this one, I just want to say that we can change the habit of the energy flow. So we can teach the energy to flow better. So by hand, and lead the energy to create the new healthy habit of energy flow. Okay, so thank you very much. I hope you feel better. Thank you.
Well, thank Thank you, Miyuki, Mrs. Coleman. It was great. I wish I would have done this before we started. I would have been not so nervous.
Yeah.
We all calm down, right?
Yeah. I can relax.
That's good. Yeah. So the key is the chi, to remember that. And I also remember touch, tap, and stretch.
Yeah.
Stretch, right?
Anywhere you can do.
Yeah.
You can touch anywhere. Yeah. And energy goes there.
Energy. Great. Thank you so very much.
Thank
So
you.
now our third speaker I'd like to introduce to you is Mrs. Joni Ray. She's the founder and CEO of the Mindset Group, executive mindset coach, and organizational change expert with 16 years plus serving global executives and small business owners. Joni is also an advocate and passionate about mentoring women in leadership skills and living lives they love through personal growth. Joni has been featured on CBS, Cheddar News, as well as podcasts and radio shows around the world. So Mrs. Ray will give an interactive presentation with the topic, Go from Overwhelm and Stress to Flow and Freedom. Sound wonderful. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Hello, beautiful people. Thank you for being here. Welcome. Wasn't Terry Miyuki amazing? I love both of you, ladies. Thank you for sharing your light with us. Okay, I feel so relaxed. I just need you in my life, Miyuki, once a day. Just call me and remind me all that because it's just amazing. All right, let's everyone do 3 shoulder shrugs back and just keep the energy going and flowing. 3 shoulder shrugs forward. Okay, all right, so what we're going to do in a very short time is I am going to take you to Bali, Indonesia. Who wants to go with me to Bali, Indonesia in the next 10 minutes? Okay, I see all the hands are up. The reason why I'll be your tour guide in Bali is because I led a personal, I see the hands are even up for people not on video with their little electric hand there. The reason why we're going on vacation quickly is I led a personal development retreat in Bali pre-pandemic, right before the pandemic hit. And I'm going to take you through one of the exercises we did. Now, how did I get from the intro that you heard of me, this bio of I coach global executives and have all this corporate experience? How did I get to leading retreats in Bali? Well, the quick story is I had my second child at one of the largest consulting firms in the world. And when I went back to work, overwhelm and stress did not cut it as far as what to describe what I went through. I felt alone. I felt like I couldn't think, I couldn't move. Where were you, ladies? I didn't know about tapping back then. That probably would have saved me. And at the time, I just felt alone. I felt like I couldn't talk to anyone about the pressure I was feeling to perform at my job and then to go home and have a whole other job at home. And, you know, when I share this story, there are people who, you yourself included, we all can relate to these times when we just couldn't handle any more stress. So I went from that job and committing to myself, you know what, I'm going to find a way out of this and I'm going to help other women. Because we all need to be a community, lift each other up and get each other through these times and then just soar and fly. So that's the whole point, is to soar and fly. We're going to do that in just the short few minutes we have together. So I would love for you all to, I'm going to put some words in the chat so you can have eyes on the chat. You're going to need, I should have said this in the very beginning, you're going to need a piece of paper and a pen. If you don't have a pen and paper, you can, and if you're on your computer, maybe pull up a Word document. You're going to rate areas in your life. Okay, so you're going to rate areas in your life, and I'm in the chat now. Rate your family, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. How well is that going right now? 1, not so well. Family not going so well. 10, family going amazing. My family is going amazing. Okay, so on a scale of 1 through 10, give me a number that you're writing down privately while I write words up here. So I have family. The next word is friends. Thank you, Evelyn, for sharing with us. You could just write it in your notebook if you'd like, or you guys can share with everyone. Either works. So family, friends, you're writing down in your notebook privately to yourself. 1, friends not going so well. 10 is going amazing. How is your health going? I think Terry is off the charts, going amazing with her food habits. 10 going well, 1 being not so well. And then let's go with your spirituality, your spiritual life. How is your spiritual life going? Go ahead and rate that on a scale of 1 through 10. Okay, and we can keep going. And we're not going to, because we have a time limit together. So if you'd like to take on homework for yourself, I invite you to keep going. And as you're looking at the numbers that you've rated your areas of life, this is an opportunity for you, because one area of life is always going to impact another area of life. So another area of life is your professional life, or if you're retired, how is it going with the time that you're spending most of the day? Now, please consider that if your family is not going so well, I'm going to put romantic relationships as the last one. If your one area, like your professional life, is not going so well, please consider that that's going to impact all the other areas of your life. And so what I do now that I've kind of left that corporate world I was describing, I now focus on holistic coaching people from the inside out to really get to this mental mindset wellness, is what I call it. All right, so now that you have these numbers in front of you, the next thing we're going to quickly do is please close your eyes for less than a minute here. I want you to picture that we are all watching a movie together. So we're watching a movie and you admire the person who is starring in the movie so much. You want to be like this person. They resemble what you're up to in your own life. So think about this actor or actress and say to yourself, wow, I really admire them. And with your eyes still closed, think of 3 words to describe that person. They can be brave, they can be whatever words, 3 words that first come to mind. Go ahead and open your eyes when you have your words. When you have the words, please type those words in the chat so we can all see your words. 1, 2, 3, go. Type your words in the chat, please, so we can see. Prayerful. Thank you, Vicky. What other words came to mind? Mind, body, unity. Thank you, Olga. Sarah, self-assured. Sacrificial. Thank you. Calm, blessed. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you. What else? What other words came to mind? Assertive, beyond comfort zone, wise, confident, peaceful, strong. All right, keep them coming. Take a look at the chat, everybody, and read everybody's answers, because I want you to feel the energy in the virtual room we're in. If we were in a physical room, which is how I used to do all my workshops before COVID, you can just feel the energy in the room. Kind and generous. Thank you. Tenderhearted, talented, courageous. All right. So I'm taking you through an exercise that took a few hours in Bali. We're doing this very short version here. What I want you to do is pick the area of life that you that you put a number against that you want to go to work on. What is the one area of life? You get to choose your favorite area. Do you want to work on health? Do you want to work on romantic relationships? Do you want to work on friendships? Or do you want to work on something totally different that's not on the list, any area of life? The next thing to do is look at the number, whether the number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever number you put. Just consider that that number is coming from the past version of yourself. The past version of yourself is that person that you go to when you're seeking that escape or when you're not present to who you really are. And that's not the number that reflects what you're actually up to, what your potential actually holds. So use the words that you typed in the chat, or you can steal someone else's words and write these words down. Be, do, have. Be, do, have. We pretend that we're human havings. We want to have all these things, have these shiny things, but we're actually human beings. We're human beings. So encompass those words that you've discovered for yourself, or you stole somebody else's words. And the last question I'll leave you with is this. If you encompassed that way of being, if you were actually courageous, what two actions would you take? For example, if I was really courageous in the area of health, 2 actions I would take. I would call Miss Terry, get some coaching from her. That's one thing I would do. And the second action I would take, I would call Miss Miyuki and get some coaching from her to calm down so I could eat healthier. What 2 things can you take on if you encompass the actual words? So I am out of time. However, I'm not going to leave the stage until you write down your 2 actions, because that's the whole point of this talk, is for you to get into action in your most powerful version of yourself. So with that said, my closing thought here is this. If you have a lack of power, freedom, or full self-expression, just consider you're coming from the past version of you. And just center yourself, whatever you need to do, whether it's a prayer or a meditation, and discover and commit and declare who you are from the future, and then take action from there. All right, everyone has all of their Bali homework? Thank you. My name is Joni Ray. Thank you so much.
Wow, wow. Round of applause. That was powerful. Yeah, 10-hour course in 10 minutes. Thank you. We owe you a lot of money for this information.
You can just take me to Bali and then we'll call it even.
Okay. Yeah. No, this was a very good and powerful complement to the other 2 very different health guidelines that we received. So I was the one with the courageous, and I thought I need to relax more. I have to be courageous to take off, even though I'm not supposed to. So just to mention that. Yeah, so ladies, it was an extraordinary 10 minutes from each of you. Round of applause for our speakers, please. They gave the nuggets of their experience and wisdom. And I would like to open it now up for questions from you, from the audience, to see if you have any further information that we can hear from them and shed some light on something. So we have nutrition, we have energy, building, we have relationships, and from the inside out mindsets, right? And dealing with how to see ourselves, and it's all interconnected, right? Surely it's all interconnected. Like you said, everything affects something else, right? Everything affects the other. Yeah. So are there any questions? Maybe I didn't get.
Shirley, I see your hand up.
As somebody said, can Terry share some recipes? Can you share some recipes? Maybe online.
Right, yeah, online. There's a lot. Yeah, definitely repurpose things. Like when you're juicing your carrots, save the carrot pulp. That goes for a lot of meals. So that's one quick and simple tip I'll give on the food.
I have some questions here. Actually, Miyuki, do you think grounding mats are helpful? Grounding mats.
Grounding, what you say, math?
Yeah, mat that you step on. I have never heard of it myself, but sounds interesting.
Well, you mean grounding is actually, people talk about grounding. It's really standing on the earth. It's really a basic thing, actually. And yeah, if you walk, bare feet or, walk outside on the grass, and you can get the energy actually from the earth. And so that's really grounding, very important that to feel safe and secure. Yeah.
Rest takes us away from that. Thank you. And then another question, Yuki, again, what positive benefits have you received from energy balancing, and how did you get into it?
Well, so energy, I would say energy comes first, and then blood and other fluid like a lymph and nerves kind of follow that. Of course, it's like a chicken and egg. We cannot say which one is really first. But if you balance the energy, the simplest way to say is blood also follow. And if I touch here, if I pain here, and then the energy is coming here, and the same time that also the blood comes. So it really can get the physical benefit. So as I say, if you balance energy, all levels, gradually go like a pool ball, it just goes. I hope I answered the question.
Okay, I think so. So Terry, can you share some of the influence you may have had on your youthful mother as she changed some habits in her senior years?
Sure. There was a particular incident, wow, probably about 4 years ago now. She, at the age of 80, I believe she had a mild stroke. And this is a woman who's always stayed very, very active, has never been on any meds at all. And when she had a stroke, I flew from Las Vegas, where I was living at the time, to be with her. And within 3 weeks, I gave her nothing but superfoods, okay, no meds. The doctors wanted to give her all kind of meds, as you can imagine. That's what they're supposed to do. And I did none of that. I gave her hemp seed oil every single day, and then a whole spectrum of all of these foods that have high protein, high live enzymes, all of this. And I had to do it very quickly before my siblings found out that I was not giving her any meds. And so within just 5 days, her bad cholesterol number came down 50%. And so when she went to the doctor, he couldn't believe, first of all, he couldn't believe she was in her 80s. And then he said, I am 30 years your junior, and my numbers have never looked this good. He said, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. So that's just one very brief incident. And so she's very good at doing what I ask her to do in that area, because she's living proof that it works. The food works.
That is powerful. That is powerful. Thank you very much. And here's a question for, I guess, Joni. All areas of my life are the same level. That's interesting. So how do I choose what area if they're all the same?
Yeah, you do eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and just choose one. It doesn't matter which one you choose if you're not attached, because sometimes people say, oh, I need to work on finances, and they gravitate towards that. If you don't have a strong feeling, choose one, because it will impact the rest of your life. And then you can choose the next one after that.
That is great. It's the same principle, looks like, right? Spiritually and physically, everything affects everything else. So another question here. Joni, can you suggest a few actions to take to increase self-assurance and confidence? Because You exude that. You love that.
And another day, week-long workshop I do to answer this question. And to summarize, to exude confidence, I mean, that's really the point of this whole event, is healing. I did so much interpersonal work, so much to get to where I am. And I'm doing, live interviews on news stations today. Never would have gone a million feet close to a camera or even in this setting, because I really didn't feel like I was worth it. And the first step to really embrace your worth and to embrace your love for yourself is to have the courage to go to those deep, dark places that we all are hiding under the rug. Some of us are turning to habits that are not healthy for us, like overeating or eating unhealthy food. So it's going to those places, having the courage to do that, is my very short answer, which is a much longer answer later. If you want to contact me, I'm happy to have that conversation.
That is beautiful. And I know that our speakers are willing to answer questions, ladies and gentlemen. So take note of their websites and emails that we are putting in the chat. And yeah, so that's great. That's a great answer. Basically practice what I'm hearing. You do so many things and you go out there and push yourself, and then you become confident by doing it more and more, right? So yeah. Okay, let's see. There was another question. I think Miyoki, I'm getting this here. How does massage therapy fit in with balancing? How does massage therapy fit in with balancing, Miyoki?
I guess the difference between is energy. When we balance energy, even though massaging, that the focus is also energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So even though if I do here, my focus is not the massaging necessarily, focusing on energy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, massage is good, but just that's not the same thing. And of course, energy, even though you don't intention, still energy is having, always having exchange. But so much intention makes that difference.
Mm-hmm.
So massage therapists, maybe they may be focusing on energy, but that's the basic thing. It's similar, but we are focusing on energy move, not the massage physically. Mm-hmm. And then again, by doing that, by even touching here and the energy go, then definitely we're massaging the energy and then hold the physical parts also include.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I guess you can have both. There's nothing wrong with that, right?
Oh yeah. I think you can go both in different. Yeah. Not either, but yeah.
Yeah. And then Terry, how did you discover how to prepare the raw food? Good question.
Wow. Okay, well, just to back up a bit from the actual time where I learned all this, a year prior to that happening, in 2011, when I was in ICU, my best friend of 38 years was also in a hospital 2,000 miles away. Oh, no, I take it back. Well, yeah, probably almost 1,100 miles away in Texas. I was in Chicago, and I could not get to her. I was her power of attorney, health-wise, and or power of medical attorney, and yet I could not get to her. She had to go under emergency surgery and did not live through that. And so at that point, I was devastated and I felt helpless. And I made a vow to God right then and there. I said, okay, I cannot be of use to anyone, not even my children, especially at that point, not my best friend, when I am not well myself. And just as you were saying at the beginning, Angelica, it's just like your leaders have to be healthy. They cannot help others if they're not healthy themselves. So I made that vow. I stood by it. And so mentally I was ready when the teacher came. And I happened to come across a person, he is a raw food chef, a gourmet chef, and knew him 50 years prior in our childhood. And there was no accident that our paths crossed at that time. And I learned all that I could learn. And that's why I was able to go from one day eating fast foods and potato chips and all that other good stuff to eating raw. And that's why I tell people, don't try and go 100%, because you'll do it and it didn't work, and then you'll think that it just does not work. But when you are ready and really sick and tired of being sick and tired, it all becomes easy at that point. And so I just learned from him. He has the recipe books, and I really started off with smoothies only and 2 dishes. And I said, man, I'm tired of making these same 2 dishes, because I was really afraid to venture into it. The stuff looks hard to do. It's really not when you dive into it. And so that's when I got serious about it. And then when the symptoms all went away, I was a winner at that point, or a believer at that point, I should say, and there was no reason to turn back.
Wow, yeah, you have to be desperate, right?
There you go. That's right. Desperate and to do something.
Yeah, I don't know if I could jump into raw food right now, but we'll give it a try, maybe 3 days. And there is one more question here. We have time for that. What are the most important energy exercises to do every day, for example? Are there certain ones that you recommend no matter what?
Okay. Yeah, this is very good. Energy needs to cross. Yeah. And energy, like, yeah, the benefit of just thinking about was like, yeah, depression, try to solve the depression. But if you balance the energy, it's kind of starting point. And if you are kind of depressed, energy is not crossing quite often. So just starting here, crossing is it's really good. This is what I wanted to actually introduce to. Go like that. You can go one point like that,
Okay, so that's the most important to always do.
Yeah, but this one actually, how to do it, kind of press here so that you can get the energy, the stuck energy on the shoulder. Quite often people have that kind of press, and it just go this is, yeah. And then the other one also, it's just press, and then you're grabbing that also kind of, imagining like extra energy here, like that, and you can just finish on the chest.
Thank you so much. I think it's also a gift, or to know when you need what, right? Like, when do I need the food, and when do I need to balance my mind, and when do I need the energy flow? And probably it's good to practice them all, right? And I don't know if you have one more question. Are there any more questions before we close? These ladies have so much more to share. I have one source. My question is to Terry. How do you not get tempted when everybody else eats the good stuff once in a while? Don't you do a little living life sometimes, eat an ice cream? You know what I mean? How do you deal with that?
Well, the key is that the food that I currently eat is so delicious. It's not bland at all. It's full of spices, full of just, it is wonderful. So I'm not missing anything that's there. Plus, what will happen is that I'll look at the food and it'll be like, oh yeah, bacon, yeah, I love that smell of it. But then the intellect kicks in and says, oh no, I know what it can do to the body. And then so it's really a matter of just really, what people don't realize is that we have a food addiction, and we have to kick that addiction. Some people, it has to, they have to be hypnotized or something, but we have an emotional attachment to food. And real quick, if I were to boil a chicken in a pot and hand it to you on a plate, would you love it? People say they love their chicken. You wouldn't love that boiled chicken. It's the seasoning that is put on the chicken and the crispiness of the skin that you love. So we replicate that in the raw foods with plant-based foods. We just replicate it, and you'll think you're eating that same chicken.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. What about desserts though? What kind of good dessert do you have? I need to hear.
Chocolate, dark chocolate,
Oh,
cacao,
okay.
chocolate cake. I can make a whole chocolate cake.
Okay.
Mousse, chocolate mousse made with avocados. And oh yeah, avocados, bananas, dark chocolate. Yeah,
Mhm.
there's a lot. There's a lot out there. And you can make ice cream out of bananas, believe it or not. You have the right kind of
Right.
juicer with the plate to it. And yeah, it's so much.
Okay.
We're going to your house for dinner, Terry.
Come
Yeah.
on, come on. I
Yeah,
love
all
pie.
lost here. Yeah, this is exciting. Thank you so much, ladies. I think we have to conclude our Q&A here. Please stay in touch with our ladies. I want to thank you again for an incredible feast tonight, like spiritual and physical and every kind of advice you gave us that enriched us very much, even though 10 minutes is very short time. I wish we had longer for each of you. So thank you so much. Let's give these ladies a round of applause. They really poured their nuggets of wisdom in there. So next is, we'd like to share with you a video, just a very brief one. It's called Global Friends Initiative, which is a project of the Global Women Peace Network. And then Mrs. Kiyomi Schmidt, who is our National Outreach Director, she will share a little bit more about it. So let's see the video.
That video, you all got to take a glimpse of what our global friends are. And maybe you noticed that our speaker today, Ms. Liggins, also on this flyer, she is the founder of one of the organizations listed. So we're really happy to be working together and spreading the useful knowledge like she shared with us today. So the Global Friends is a platform, and it's our way of highlighting organizations that affirm and contribute to different aspects of peace, because it's not a one-size-fits-all. So hopefully by having our stamp of approval, it will give all of you a little more reason to check out these different organizations and support them as well. For example, you can find organizations that serve different countries in need, some who focus on cultural understanding, unlocking our personal potential, and investing in the next generation, strengthening our family relationships, and so on. Move to this next slide here. Okay, so these are the peace tenets. These are the peace tenets that Global Friends agree to. And it's such as affirming the value of women, creating a culture of heart in everything that they do, and each of us doing our own part to collaborate in the name of peace, much like what we're doing today. And so this is a relatively new feature. And if you have an organization, we would love to have you apply. So the benefits include promotion as part of the Global Women's Peace Network, such as the program we have today, as well as receiving a customized landing page all about your work on our website. So this is the link where you can find out more and apply, wfwp.us/globalfriends. And we will be sending this link out as well as the websites of our speakers today. We'll send you follow-up information after this program so that you can take a look at the organizations that you saw a preview of in the video we just watched. So thank you so much.
Wonderful, wonderful, Kiyomi. Let's give her a round of applause. Well done. Our young women leaders are creating very amazing videos and everything. So we are very happy about that. And so this is the moment that many of you have been waiting for those who know what we do at the end of our program. We give away 3 free copies of her founder's memoir, Dr. Hak Ja Han Moon's memoir called The Mother of Peace, and God Shall Wipe Away All Their Tears. And by the way, today we are going to give 1 extra book away because Mrs. Terry Liggins is offering her book as the 4th winner of this competition here. But let me share a little bit about the book first for those who are new here. Dr. Hak Ja Han Moon, whom we also call lovingly Mother Moon, is currently, well, that book is the bestseller, first of all, in Korea, and we hope it will be the bestseller here in America. It's on Amazon.com already. And there's no doubt in our mind that Dr. Hak Ja Han Moon is one of the greatest women peace leaders of our time. She is really the only one at this time to be able to bring together heads of state, religious leaders of all faith traditions, scientists, economic experts, decision makers from all sectors of life, and engaging them in finding peaceful solutions to today's social ills and crises that plague humanity. She's a woman of action. And how does she do that is the question. She's definitely not an ordinary woman. She's a mother of 14 children, 14 ladies, and some miscarriages. It's real. We got to be real here sometimes. 50 grandchildren plus, and 5 of her own children also passed on. But that did not stop her. She overcame many trials and tribulations and still looks beautiful and stronger than ever at age 78. So ladies, you would like to have that book, right? And it is also the first time that she's revealing about herself, her inner life, and things we have not even known, those of us who've been around for decades. This is really a treasure book that you would like to read. Well written and very engaging. So here we go. How do you get it? We will, the first 3 persons who will put in the chat box something will get will get the book. However, there is a caveat, there is a qualification. Only those in the United States can receive the book. So the word that we need to see is, I am healthy and well. Go. I'm healthy and well. First 3 winners will get the autobiography, and the other 4th person will get the book. Let me see, Get Your Raw On. Get Your Raw On. Yeah, so here we are. We will contact you directly. And ladies and gentlemen, not to leave just yet. We have one more step that we'd like to do. We'd like to take a photo together, but before we do that, I'd like to ask our wonderful IT team that put everything together and makes everything go smooth to appear from behind the scenes so we can thank them. Can we please see Mrs. Connery and also, of course, Kiyomi Schmidt and all our panelists? Can we all wave? All right. So these are the ladies who make things happen together. We are a team, and we have done many such events. And yes, we're really proud to serve. We're really proud to serve in the Women's Federation, the Global Women Peace Network. So, and many leaders here on the call. So I want to really thank you for joining us. It's been wonderful. And I know let's keep the conversation alive on health and healing, right? Let's be the healers. And of course, we want to be healthy. Please stay healthy at this time. Now we have some tools, hopefully, they keep us healthy and strong. So probably we'll meet again in August. We haven't set the date yet, but stay tuned, and we'll definitely meet again and keep connecting to become the most amazing, empowered, exciting, and shining ladies like you all here. Okay, have a wonderful summer. Thank you.